If there was a perfect year for Nintendo to kill the Switch, I feel like 2023 is it. There's just been a complete lack of games that's on our docket for this year. I mean, we've had two major releases so far this year. One of them has already come in Tears of the Kingdom, and the other one is Pikmin 4, which is coming in about a month. After that, nothing for the fall season, nothing for the holiday season, and nothing as far as we know for next year. So, what's going on with Nintendo? What is going on? Where is all the games, Nintendo? Why are you holding them back? Are you holding them back for a planned future Switch, which apparently Nintendo is doing their hardest to debunk? But we all know that's not true. We all know that the Switch is on its way out. And I feel like that is exactly the case here, in the fact that we have had nothing in terms of major releases save but Tears of the Kingdom and Pikmin 4. But again, where's the rest of the games? Even the smaller third party developers haven't really put out a lot, or at least anything good. I mean, if you are a fan of JRPGs and farming sims, power to you, because this is your year. But not all of us are JRPG fans. Some of us actually want some substance to our games. Some of us actually want something a little bit more. And I'm not saying that these games are lacking substance or anything. What I am saying is that JRPGs and farming sims tend to really cater towards a niche audience. And I understand that, like, Stardew Valley had major success, but most of the games that are coming out in the farming sim genre are essentially Stardew Valley clones. And why would you buy them when you could just have the original for a great price on the eShop? That's the terrible truth of what's going on, because there's just been so little in terms of release. People have been starving, so we've been, at least I have been checking the eShop almost religiously, just trying to find something to play. That's why I've been turning back to older games. That's why I picked up a Wii. That's why I've been doing all these different things to just cater to that need, that ever insatiable want of just a new novel game idea. And we did sort of get that in Tears of the Kingdom, but again, that game everyone's pretty much wrapping up their playthroughs of. Everyone's done their due diligence, they played the game, they probably defeated Ganondorf, and, they're moving on to New Horizons, Not New Horizons Animal Crossing, because no one's playing that game right now, trust me. They want a new thing, It doesn't even have to be a new thing. It can be older games that everyone loves, which Nintendo is, again, starving us. They're drip feeding us content from the SNES, the Game Boy, the 64, and all those other releases. But even then, they're not giving us the good stuff. They're not giving us the good stuff. They're holding everything back. Like, that's why I go back to the eShop so much, because I'm always checking. Ever since I crashed and burned with Tears of the Kingdom, which, by the way, is just a personal thing. It's nothing against the game. It's just something within me that I just didn't vibe with. Again, everyone who loves that game, power to you. It is a great game. Objectively speaking, it is a good game. I just couldn't get to it. But anyway, this isn't about me. This is about Nintendo. This is about the fact that if any year was perfect to kill the Switch, this would be the year, because there's been so little in terms of major releases and really major splash headlines. I feel like if Nintendo intentionally wanted to kill the Switch to prepare the world for a new generation of console, this would be it. And I know what Doug Bowser said, that the Switch still has legs. I am calling bullcrap, because just look at the docket in terms of major releases. We have nothing, no big headline games scheduled for the holiday season, which is when Nintendo should be dropping big splash headline games. What's up with that? I mean, why? Why? Where's all the content, Nintendo? Where is everything? Where is it? That's why I don't believe a word that Doug Bowser or anyone at the higher ups in Nintendo are saying, because I feel like they're just trying to cover up for all the leaks of the Switch 2 rumors, which it's its own whole thing. I'm not even gonna get into it. But the thing is, yeah, I just feel like I feel like they are compensating for the fact that they know they don't have anything. I mean, we're getting a sequel to a game that nobody liked. That's how desperate Nintendo is getting. I feel like that game is just an excuse to keep the shareholders somewhat interested. Like, say, okay, they probably asked, the shareholders probably asked Nintendo, okay, where's all the releases? And they're like, oh, well, we got this little game over here. This might help out with our sales, and until at least Pikmin 4 comes out, and then we don't know. We still got DLC for Mario Kart and Splatoon 3, and that's about it. That's how I feel Nintendo is thinking right now. I feel like it's just a year of freaking DLC, which is just absolute nonsense. Come on, Nintendo. Come on. Where's all the games? I'm very much an old school gamer. When it comes to releases, I want the game released in its full. You know, I want a game that has everything available at launch and given more throughout the span, you know? And I understand that's what's going on with Mario Kart and Splatoon 3, but come on. Not everyone's still playing Mario Kart, and not everyone's still playing Splatoon 3. I had my run with Splatoon 3 and I enjoyed it. It's a great game. I enjoyed thoroughly the campaign mode, but it's just Nintendo's online is so crappy. It just can't service that game anymore. Nintendo needs to focus on online. They've really got to get ahead with the times and really make online play a priority, because they are still so freaking far behind when it comes to online. It's just absolutely abysmal when it comes to something like something like Xbox or PlayStation. Those two are they're just circling. They're lapping Nintendo left and right. They've been doing that for years now, for decades. But that's a whole separate tirade, you know. But what I am trying to say is, I believe the Nintendo Switch is on its way out. Regardless of what Doug Bowser or Shintaro Fukawa, whatever his name is, the head guy, the head CEO of Nintendo proper, Nintendo of Japan, I don't care what any of them say. The Switch is dead. The Switch is going on its way out. And I believe next year, or possibly, and this is my personal theory, but I believe that Nintendo is actually going to drop it this holiday season. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? With the lack of releases they have for the holiday season, shareholders are going to be livid. They are going to be out of their minds. They're going to be pulling their shares. They're going to be pulling their money, because they're like, no, we want more games, Nintendo, and us gamers are screaming for the same thing. Finally, gamers and shareholders are agreeing on the same thing. We want more games, you know. But we ultimately won't truly know what the shareholders have to say until the shareholders meeting. And I'm usually not that interested in these kind of things, but I think I actually will report on that when the time comes, because I genuinely want to know what the investors have to say about Nintendo's lack of releases. And I know there's been rumors, there's been leakers who have said that there might be a mini direct coming this week. Maybe. Even then, I don't expect much, you know, just more crap on Everybody 1-2 Switch, the creepy horse face game that no one cares about, which is going to be an absolute cringe disaster. Oh boy. And whatever else, whatever else Nintendo has planned. I mean, what major properties do they have? They already had a Kirby release this year in Return to Dreamland Deluxe. They've already pretty much burned out all the Kirby franchise. I mean, like, that poor development team needs, like, probably a good 5 years to recoup after, like, what, like sharding out 20 different releases in the past 2 years. I swear to God, there's been so much in terms of Kirby. And maybe we could get a Yoshi game. Maybe. We had Yoshi's Crafted World that came out, but that came out all the way at the beginning of the Switch's life. And here we are at the end of the road, at the tail of the dragon. And we still haven't seen a new Yoshi game. So maybe they might have a Yoshi game slated for the holiday release just to kind of stave off the investors. But in terms of the big ones, the Marios, I think the Mario movie is all we're going to get this year. It's an unfortunate truth, but I think that's the way it is. I think Nintendo personally is holding off on a Mario game because they are waiting to release it or simultaneously release it on whatever the Switch's successor will be, whether it be a proper Switch 2 or whether it's going to be a VR console or like more of like an AI powered thing. I don't know what it's going to be. There's so much possibilities. Nintendo has been keeping this heavily under wraps and for good reason, but I'm excited to see what they have. But until that day comes, until they decide to release the announcement trailer for their newest Switch system and hopefully a Mario game to boot, please. I'm not holding my breath for any real big new games. That's just how I feel right now. I'm kind of pissed off at Nintendo because I've just been left to fend to my own devices, just hunting and scavenging for good indie games on the eShop. And by the way, as far as I know, Celeste is on sale on the eShop. Go pick it up. That's an amazing game. There's so many other great independent games. If you guys are done with Tears of the Kingdom and you want more, there are so many good indie games that are out there that you can play. One I just picked up is Super Meat Boy. I've heard lots of good things. I haven't personally played it, but I'm excited to delve into it. Obviously Celeste, great game, great platformer game. If you want another good platformer game, A Hat in Time is a really good option. A very, very well designed game. There's just so many other options, so many good Metroidvanias and so many great releases from indie developers. Even in terms of the indie space, there's not like a lot of exciting independent games. I mean, there's Donkey's game, which actually looks very interesting. I haven't heard too much about it, but I am excited to delve into it just to see what that crazy donkey is doing. I mean, it's really quiet. The indie showcase wasn't much to toot your horn about, so that's just the unfortunate truth of where we're at. We're just in the dark days of Nintendo until they drop a new Switch or whatever they drop. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. I am extremely disappointed in Nintendo right now, and until they prove me otherwise, I will continue to be disappointed. But hit me up in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this whole situation, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.